Hello, young lords, learners, and viewers. Welcome to this session. I am going to tell you a beautiful story of Animal Farm by George Orwell. In my last class with you, I introduced George Orwell and his works. I told you that George Orwell was a great author, writer. He wrote many novels. He is popularly known as the author of Animal Farm and 1984. Today, I am going to tell you a story of Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a novella. A novella means a short novel. It runs into 112 pages. This novel is a blistering satire on the great Russian Revolution that took place in 1917. This novel attacks on the communism that came up in Soviet Russia after the Great Revolution of 1917. The author attacks on it through a very telling story, through a very interesting story of animals. It is an allegory. An allegory is a tale or a story that presents something very significant through animals as characters. So, Animal Farm is a fable, an allegory which tells a beautiful story about the Soviet communism that came after the Great Revolution of 1917. The story follows thus. Mr. Jones owns a farm. He is a drunkard. He does not take proper care of animals of his farm. So, under the leadership of old Major, an old boar, pig, all the animals gather. Old Major delivers a speech. He tells that all the animals are equal and they should fight against Mr. Jones. Then they will have their own rule, their freedom. Then old Major dies. Then Napoleon and Snowball take over the leadership of the farm. Snowball is an ideal leader. He wants to develop the animal form. But Napoleon, who is a pig, young pig, overtakes Snowball, another pig, an ideal pig. And Napoleon begins to rule over the farm. Napoleon changes the name of the farm from Manor Farm to Animal Farm. Mr. John is driven away from the farm, and Napoleon happens to be the ruler over the farm. Now, Napoleon has 2 dogs as his bodyguards. Napoleon rules over the animal farm very rudely, cruelly. Like Mr. Jones, Napoleon too exploits the animals. Napoleon takes away milk from cows and he consumes it with other pigs. Napoleon takes away eggs from hens and he sells them to human beings. Thus, Napoleon begins to behave like Mr. Jones, like human beings. Earlier, 7 commandments were issued. Chief among them were, all animals are equal. Four legs are friends and 2 legs are foes, enemies. But Napoleon changes the 7 commandments into 1. And his slogan is that all the animals are equal, but some animals are more equal. And again, 4 legs are good, but 2 legs are better. Napoleon becomes tyrannical day by day. He begins to exploit the weak animals of the farm. Then Snowball has an idea of making windmill for the help of the animals. But Napoleon takes away the concept from him and he says to his fellow animals that building a windmill his own concept. Boxer, Benjamin and some other hard-working animals are put to work. With their sincere efforts, the windmill is built. But windmill is attacked, and Napoleon puts the blame on Snowball. He says that it is Snowball who has destroyed the windmill. So he sets all other animals at Snowball. Then Napoleon begins to have alliances with Mr. Frederick and Pikington, who are human beings. And Napoleon, with the connivance and alliances of these human beings, the owners of the other farms, he changes the name of the farm from animal farm to Manor's farm again. Thus, this story is an attack over the Soviet Russia. In this story, old Major represents Karl Marx, Napoleon represents Joseph Stalin, Snowball represents Trotsky, boxer and other animals stand for other human beings who were very active those days. A Squealer works as an agent of Napoleon. He is expert in manipulating the facts and figures. He works on behalf of Napoleon. So this is a very beautiful story. That's all. Thanks. इसको